Okay, so we've got here a die-cast metal vehicle. I don't know if it's a Model T. Did you ever find that out?
I don't know. I mean, to me, I guess it's some like Model T probably, but it says 1906, and I don't think the Model T came out that year.
Yeah, 1906 Simplex. So it's an early automobile, and this is produced by Simplex, and it did have a roof,
Mm-hmm.
a cover, like one of the. It was made out of plastic, I think. Um, but the cool thing about this thing, the thing that really makes it stand out, is that it's a pencil sharpener.
Whoa.
You can see it's like one of those razor blade pencil sharpeners. You can see you just stick the pencil right in the back like that.
Do you
Right,
use a pencil much?
right up the back chute. Um, yeah, I have been using pencils more often lately, just for like short notes around the
Yeah.
house. Like the one thing I like about pencils is that like pens run out of ink. A pencil never runs out of graphite, so that's kind of nice. Like you if it starts running out, all you have to do is sharpen it, and it's like, but like when pens start to run out of ink, uh, and like you're writing, and all of a sudden it's not doing anything, it gets really irritating. But yeah, the pencil we're sharpening, you wanted me to point this out. It's University of Iowa Libraries pencil,
Special collections, right?
special collections. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's that. Try this out here. Watch all the shavings.
You're gonna clean that out.
There's something oddly satisfying about sharpening a pencil too.
Yeah. Oh wow, look at it. Yeah, you're making a mess.
Yeah, big nasty mess.
There you go. Big load of pencil shards. I think this is the first time in probably 5+ years that I've heard a pencil be sharpened.
Yeah.
I don't write with paper and pens much. And when I do, I just use a pen. But I usually write on stuff that's like an envelope or,
Yeah.
hard. The pencil just like roll off before.
Yeah. Rolled off. Yeah, I've been using them just out of convenience because sometimes I don't want to pick up my phone and unlock my phone because my phone has a lock on it.
Yeah.
You have to unlock your phone. I have to go to my notes app.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's actually more convenient just to pick up a piece of scratch paper and a pencil and write something down.
Yeah. For me, I feel like I would lose it, and mine has a biometric thumbprint reader thing, so I just press my thumb,
Yeah.
and then I'm so used to yelling at my phone.
What do you do? Just text to speech?
I do that a lot.
Yeah. See, I don't. Yeah, I don't like that. I've actually disabled that on my phone because it frustrates me. But and also I don't like to think about what Google or whoever might be using those recordings of my voice for. But
You don't want to go into a Silicon Valley database where you can start reading your mind or try to get in
yeah.
there. This is a very simple technology. It's also made in China.
Yep, one of the few products made in China. But yeah, this is probably your first die-cast vehicle that had a function.
Oh, I might have some other ones, but yeah, it's definitely one of the few.
Yeah, can you think of another one that was a die-cast vehicle, but it also served a purpose like
I
this?
had a bookend. I had some that were storage. I'm trying to remember. I know I've had some, but this is one of the more utilitarian ones.
Yeah.
But I have a toilet. That's a sharpener too.
Yeah.
I don't know where that went, but yeah.
I'm okay with it being a convertible too. That's fine. Because like the cover wouldn't snap on right, and it was just kind of annoying. But yeah, so there we go. Kind of a cool thing. Yeah. Plus, I have so many pencils at home. I like the idea of putting them to good use because like I have like a whole collection of pencils that I picked up as a kid from like test plot field days, and like sometimes people would pass them out at Halloween. And
was that from Iowa State, or who would do the test plot field days?
different grain companies, things like that. And then just getting them. You go into any business and they would have like a mug full of pencils for free at the front desk. I mean, they were pretty widespread, and so I had a bunch of those, like with different things printed on them. But so it's kind of a neat thing to have. I guess not much more to say about it. We mentioned that it was made by Simplex.
Yep. But it's interesting that there's 4 things that a lot of businesses, I'd say, gave away. Number one is business cards. Almost all the businesses had some sort of cards. Number 2 would be pens or pencils. And then number 3 would be printed like notepads or something. Get those things out. Oh, and magnets. Magnets are also up there.
And those little sponges.
Little sponges.
Yeah. Sometimes they have like a business card that was actually like you put it in water and it becomes a sponge.
We should do a video on that. I don't even really remember those hardly at all.
Yeah.
That's trippy. A lot of goofy little promotional products, but now everything's just on the QR code. You get a business card, a QR code, you know.
Yeah.
Nobody really wants any other stuff. I still like pen and paper and that, but I never feel like I need to buy it, because you can still get it free if you know when to go or where to get some.
Well, I have a lifetime supply. I mean, like
Yeah.
I mentioned how like I have a whole jar full of pencils, a whole jar full of pens, and then I have several notebooks from school that I never completely use. So like, probably like half a dozen notebooks worth of paper. So I'm pretty well set.
What's nice is all that stuff doesn't have spyware in it.
Yeah.
And you don't need electricity to use it, which is a big plus.
Yep.
You don't need a password or electricity or connectivity.
Yeah. None of it becomes obsolete. None of it expires.
Yeah. So there's merit within that.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. But then I've seen certain people, I've known a number of people, especially people 50 plus, that love paper, and they don't use the other stuff, but then they have list for list, and they can't find the right list, and it's just,
Yeah. I remember on the West Wing, Alan Alda played a presidential candidate, and he was an older guy, and he said, "I don't put anything on a computer. Computers crash. My notebook doesn't."
Huh.
Now, if your house burned down, that'd be an issue.
Well, not if it's a fireproof notebook.
Yeah, or if you put it in a fireproof file cabinet.
There you go.
A Fire King.
Fire King.
Yeah. Fire King.
Huh.
Fire Kings and shit.
And sheds?
Oh, no, that's a reference to something politically incorrect.
Okay. Well,
I'll probably drop it. I'll leave it at that. I'll tell you afterwards.
sounds good. And I think on Fire King and notebooks and long-term viability, and some of it going back to the University of Iowa and their archives and stuff, how do you preserve digital artifacts? And I'd say archive.org does, and that's actually a place I don't mind donating to, because they preserve all these cool websites and all this other cool stuff. A lot of good news compared to a lot of the stuff that's out now that's owned by the corporate fed cats and is just garbage.
Yeah, I think that they've been able to preserve like Adobe PDFs
Yeah.
for like 20 years now.
Okay.
DVDs they've been able to, and CDs they've been able to preserve, but even those you have to keep at the right temperature because they're made of plastic.
Well, you just burn them to MP3 files. Then it kind of becomes, well, what happens if you can't read this file or it's no longer really compatible? I forget which it was, Discovery or which cable channel it was, but they had a really good series called Life After People. Whoa.
And they go into like if humans just disappeared for some reason.
Yeah.
How long all the buildings would last, how long all the technology would last. The Hoover Dam would continue working for several years, but eventually the mussels in the Colorado River would gum up the workings of like the generators and stuff, and the turbines, and it would there'd be an emergency shutdown, but it would take years to happen.
Wow.
Like the Hoover Dam could run itself for several years.
Wow.
but yeah, buildings like wouldn't last as long as you would expect. Um, Bridges, skyscrapers. It shows like how long it would take, and then all of the technology too, including like files and like documented stuff like DVDs, VHS tapes, just all archives. Like the Library of Congress would be in trouble because there'd be no humidity control, so like that stuff would decompose faster than normal because it would be exposed to weather.
Wow, that's pretty trippy.
Yeah, it's a really cool documentary. We should watch it sometime. So it's probably one of my favorites because they go like, this is what would happen within the first year, within the first 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, and they go all the way up to like 1,000 years.
Wow.
They think like the pyramids would get covered with sand eventually, like so so nobody those would disappear eventually. The only man-made thing that might survive like a million years, or more than 500,000 years, would be the Mount Rushmore. Like because it's just made from it's a mountain.
It's carved rock.
It's a carved mountain.
Yeah.
So and erosion doesn't affect it very quickly. So if say another animal evolved to the point that humans have evolved, it might actually still be around for them to see.
Whoa.
And there are a lot of science fiction stories like that about like if humans disappeared and then cats evolved or dogs evolved or monkeys evolved. Like Planet of the Apes obviously is one of those. Like, but we've kind of got to kind of come a long way from like talking about a pencil sharpening die-cast card.
End of civilization.
Yeah.
And like what it would be like without it, and it kind of ties in. That's what I enjoy about our little specials that we do each week. That we're able to, just bounce around all kinds of areas.
Well, look at how beautifully sharp and pointy that pencil is now.
Wow. I think that we're pretty much good. How long's it been?
12 and a half minutes.
Oh, that's pretty low for us. We got to do at least 15.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
I was surprised at how well it sharpens it, considering that razor blade in there is pretty rusty.
Yeah.
I made a video. You'll see it sometime in the next week or two on my channel, Captain Unusual, where I show a table-mounted pencil sharpener. That I showed the Deviant Historian recently, or not the Deviant Historian, Diecastinator recently, and it has like dual augers on the inside of it. It's like it works completely different from this one. Like this one's just like a single razor blade. This is like more like a mechanical little
meat grinder.
Yeah, like a little mechanical marvel. But stay tuned for that on my channel.
Yeah, you can refer to me as the dude or his dudeness, or what was it that the dude said in Big Lebowski? He's like, I'm not Lebowski, man. I'm the dude.
Yeah.
I'm the dudeness. Or, I don't know. He had a cool thing about the dude.
Yeah.
So it was.
All I can remember is what John Goodman said.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing.
Yeah. About with the car.
Yeah. And then at the bowling alley, am I the only one here who cares about the goddamn rules? You're about to be in a world of pain. He was my favorite part of that movie by far. I think he stole that movie.
Yeah.
Honestly, Jeff Bridges, not a big fan of his character in that movie. I'm not a big fan of that movie in general.
Yeah, I dig it though. Like, it's just this trippy movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not exactly. It's a goofy, weird one. Yeah.
I feel like John Goodman was kind of the best part of that movie.
Yeah.
He's the best part of every movie he's in. I mean, let's face it.
Yeah.
I think that's true of just about every John Goodman movie.
Yeah.
The Gambler, I mean that movie.
F.U. money, baby.
The few minutes that he's in that movie are the only really decent. I mean, it's not like it's a bad movie, but it's the only part of that movie that's exceptional is him, his little speech in it, and then the little appearance that he makes at the end. But okay, we're at about 15 minutes now.
Okay, so where we go? We got 15 minutes of life enriching conversation and content.
Yeah.
Right,